Hey, what's up, fight fans? What's up? It's Will here, back again for another fight card prediction, and we've got a good one. UFC 225 Whittaker versus Romero 2 from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Love this fight card. Hopefully, this stays intact. Nothing falls off. There's good fights in the Fight Pass, UFC Fight Pass prelims, the original prelims, and then we've got some great fights on the main card there. Coming off UFC Utica on Friday night, had a really good night. I think I went 11 out of 12, which was always nice. The only one I got wrong was the main event where Marlon Moraes just absolutely starched Jimmy Rivera, which I thought it was going to be a lot tougher fight. I thought Jimmy was going to tough it out, but it is what it is. He gets caught, and Marlon Moraes probably moves on to get himself the winner of the Cody TJ rematch. So, yeah, only 80 subscribers away from hitting 2,000, which is awesome. So thank you very much for that. Just keep on going and let's get there as soon as we can, and then I can maybe set a new goal to finish off the year with. So yeah, a really good fight card coming off Utica. Like, I had a couple of really good bets also with Ben Saunders, which I thought was a nice one as well, which was one that I really got a good. I got a kick out of getting that one right. So getting into this fight card, starting down in the featherweight division, we have Mike Santiago against Dan Ige. I think this is going to be a close, sloppy kind of fight, but I think both guys can get takedowns if they want it, but I see this fight predominantly taking place on the feet, and I see it being, like I say, I see it being very close. I don't think there's a hell of a lot between these guys here. I think that Ige is, I think it's a shorter fight here, but and that's something that I think he will try and do. I think he'll try and get in close, make it a little bit dirty, maybe look for takedowns through there. Santiago got taken down pretty comprehensively against Mads Burnell, which seems to be the case with Mads Burnell. I've seen that in Liverpool with Arnold Allen, where he took him down at will. Dan Ige got completely outclassed by Julio Arce at UFC 220, I think it was, earlier on this year. He really did it. He just got beat up pretty badly. Arce was the more technical, dynamic striker. I see this being like a clinch fest. Maybe not a clinch fest. I see it being like maybe a clinch fest against the cage, where both are trying to get the dominant position, maybe look for takedowns off the cage. When it comes to striking, I think Ige is just a little bit more faster with his hands. I do think his footwork's a little bit better. Sometimes he plods a little bit, which is a little bit of concern. I like Dan Ige a little bit more. I think he's a tougher fighter over the 15 minutes. Maybe wants it more, that Hawaii blood in him. Will maybe bring him through the decision here. But honestly, this fight is going to go in my least confident picks. I'm not overly too enamored with the fight. It could go either way, but I'm going to pick Dan Ige for the win there. Moving on to the lightweight division with Clay Guida against Charles de Bronx Oliveira. Clay Guida's coming off a knockout win over Joe Lozon, and that was unexpected to say the least, especially in the first round, where Joe Lozon is usually quite got his head screwed on and looks decent and can usually go really hard in the first round and usually put it on opponents, but not this one. Clay Guida came out there and absolutely just rinsed the floor with him, got him out of there in the first round. Really like what I'm seeing out of him with the Eric Koch win before that. Obviously doing good work at Team Alpha Male. And yeah, it's a guy that I think that is always going to drop off a little bit, but he always just seems to be at the same kind of level and pushes himself to not let that level drop. Charles Oliveira, on the other hand, is a guy, I think he's a really talented fighter. He's a really fun fighter to watch, but he's so, I was going to say inconsistent is the word. I don't know. It's just sometimes I think he looks for the door. He has got a little bit of quit in him. Now, in that fight with Paul Felder, I thought he had so many opportunities to catch Paul Felder in a submission. Now, that's maybe credit to Paul Felder. He maybe did a good enough job of finding ways to escape submissions of Charles Oliveira, but usually in the past, if he got any kind of body limit, he would take that home with him and usually run away with the submission victory. But once, I was kind of screaming at the TV during that one for the simple reason that Paul Felder, I thought, could beat him on the feet, saying that Oliveira did pretty decent on the feet with his long range, his long reach, and then went into the guard of Charles Oliveira, and ultimately it paid off because he won the fight. But Fight IQ, I don't think was overly the highest for a full fielder there. But again, he won the fight, so who am I to say what's right and what's wrong? Beat Will Brooks before that, lost to Ricardo, Lamas got submitted and lost to Anthony Pettis. So the guy can be submitted as well. Craig Vida, I think, is going to want to look for takedowns. It's pretty plain and simple what he's going to look for. I don't think he can outstrike Charles Oliveira now. I don't think Oliveira's the greatest striker, but I do think he uses his range pretty well. I think he's pretty decent in the clinch, and when it gets to the ground, and if he can get in a position where he can get his arms around your neck or he can get your back, you are in a lot of trouble. But he does fade late on in fights, and Craig Vida could push him to the point where he could maybe be gassed out, and then Craig Vida is all over him in this fight. I think it's a really close fight because I think that Charles Oliveira is definitely going to have opportunities to maybe get on submissions. Whether he gets them against the guy against Craig Vida is another thing. He has been caught in the past, Craig Vida, by a couple of submissions, so it can definitely happen. I'm struggling with this fight pick, I must admit. I see it like a 55-45 for one guy, and that's probably going to be Charles Oliveira, I think. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go Charles Oliveira. Literally, I feel out 100%. I'm 55% confident he's going to win the fight. I see it's being pretty close. I don't know what the odds are. I've not looked at the odds for this fight. If I'm going to pick him, I think I'm going to have to pick him via submission. So, submission at some point of the fight for Charles the Bronx Oliveira. Moving on to the flyweight division, why this fight is on UFC Fight Pass, I have no idea. It shows you how much the UFC value the flyweight division, in my opinion, if they're putting the number one guy behind the champion on UFC Fight Pass prelims, when it really should. It could easily be the first fight in the main card. We all know which one is the first fight in the main card, and I can see why they're doing that. But with Joseph Benavidez making his return against Sergio Pettis. We'll start with Sergio Pettis. I think you guys know me by now. If you've been watching my videos, I'm a massive fan of the Pettis brothers. I love the technical, crisp striking. What I think he has to do here is stuff and strike. Stuff and strike. If he can stuff the takedowns of Benavidez, which I think that's what Benavidez is going to do, is maybe I think we've seen that Pettis can be held a little bit, and I think that Benavidez has the kind of game to put him there. Whether he wants to do that's another thing, because he's a pretty well-rounded fighter as Benavidez. But Pettis, I think if he stuffs takedowns and can get his striking, his nice technical, fast striking off, I think he could cause Benavidez problems. Now, he's coming off a pretty big surgery himself. The guy is literally one of the best in the flyweight division. I think you've got Demetrius Johnson, and then you've got Joseph Benavidez, in my opinion. He only really loses to the top guys in there. Coming off a pretty controversial split decision, when a lot of people had Cejudo winning that fight. I had it Benavidez personally. I could see why people might have had Cejudo, but I think that the right scorecard was read out personally. Winzo, Makovsky, Bagatino, Moraga, Ortiz, and Tim Elliott. The guy's on a streak. He's got to pretty much beat every other guy in that division to maybe get another crack at DJ, who's beat him twice. The layoff kind of worries me a little bit. I think that if Pettis can stop, if Pettis is the faster fighter and can get his strikes off first of all and cause Benavidez problems, then that's when I think he's going to start shooting and getting takedowns. I think he can take down Sergio Pettis, and I'm not sure that Sergio Pettis can find a way to get back to his feet. Maybe an odd occasion, but I see Benavidez, if he gets him down a couple of times, he will keep him there. And that's kind of where I'm seeing this fight go. I think the overall experience of someone like a Joseph Benavidez will pay massive dividends in this fight here, for the simple reason that if he's getting out struck on the feet, I think he goes to the takedown game, where I do think he has an advantage, and I do think he can win the fight from there. So I'm going to go Joseph Benavidez to win via decision. And the main fight of the UFC Fight Pass prelims, we have Rashad Evans against Anthony Smith. If you asked me 5 years ago if Rashad Evans would be fighting like caliber guys like Anthony Smith, I would have probably pointed at you and laughed at you. But it shows you where Rashad Evans really is in his fighting game. He's really on the tail end of his career. I'm surprised he's still fighting. Went down to middleweight a little bit too late, in my opinion, and looked not good down there. Mirsad, like, he's struggling to pull the trigger, and that's something he was never. When he was coming up during his pomp, he was throwing really fast, accurate, powerful strikes, using really good footwork, good movement. And was just a really tough fighter to face. He was one of the best guys the UFC had in the company at that point. And he's facing off against Anthony Smith here. He's making the move up to 205. Bigger guy here. Coming off a tough loss to Thiago Santos, where he got hurt pretty badly in that one, got taken out. To stop fight at 205 there, which I think is a smart thing, considering he's come off a loss. He's not going to do anything in that division. And he could potentially be a ranked fighter in this division. It's so weak. Just a big dude. Nothing really stands out. He's pretty aggressive. Uses his length fairly well. But I think what he needs to show here, I think that Rashad Evans is going to want to get takedowns in this fight. Like I said, he's just struggling to throw hands. And he's definitely not got the speed and the power that he once had. Well, his power, he might still have that power, but I think his speed is definitely not where it used to be. And you can kind of telegraph his strikes a little bit more. I think if he can use leg kicks on Mirsad and maybe open him up a little bit, he might get a few of the better combinations off. But I think Rashad Evans is going to want to wrestle in this one here. And I think he can get someone like Anthony Smith down and potentially keep him there for vast majorities of the round. I just struggle to see him doing it. I really want to pick Rashad Evans here. But I just think that Anthony Smith's going to win the fight. I've got a funny feeling the next video I make, I'm going to regret saying, oh, I should have picked Rashad Evans. I had a feeling over him. But I think the smarter pick is actually Anthony Smith here. So I'm going to pick him to win the fight here, probably by decision. Moving on to the prelim cards, starting off in the heavyweight division. Oh, I don't really give two shits about this fight. Rashad Coulter against Chris De La Hoya. I thought De La Hoya had actually retired. Turns out he's not. He was still in the UFC, surprisingly, coming off a couple of losses where he got starched by Omi Lanchuk. And then he had that fight. I forgot who it was against the last time out, but it was. Let me see who it was, because that's going to annoy me. Chris De La Hoya. Ah, yeah, Adam Milstead, where he lost that one as well. He got knocked out in the second round. And Milstead is not a big heavyweight at all. Pretty much the same standard what Rashad Coulter is there. Just shy of 40 years old as well, so he's an older guy. Not only the biggest heavyweight, weighs 250, got a fairly decent reach of about 80 to 81, but absorbs a lot of strikes, and that's something he'll have to take care against Rashad Coulter. Rashad Coulter, in my opinion, is not. These are two of your lowest levels heavyweights that we have in the whole entire company. This should be the first fight to really start off the fight card, in my opinion. Honestly, I think Rashad Coulter is there to be hit at. I think with someone like De La Hoya who's going to be punching down, he could possibly hit him with a big shot. But I think Rashad Coulter will just outwork him a little bit. I think he will power through him in some aspects of the fight. But honestly, guys, I'm not confident in that pick at all. I'm going to go Rashad Coulter, be a TKO in round number 2. But wow, I'm not the greatest fight, and the fight I'm not that really invested in. But I think that he can win the fight, Rashad Coulter. Featherweight division. Ricardo Lamas makes his return after a brutal knockout against Mirsad Bektic. We'll start off with Ricardo Lamas. Just like I mentioned there, a really brutal knockout at the hands of Josh Emmett, who then went on to get really brutally knocked out himself. Ricardo Lamas, in my opinion, is one of the top 5 guys in that division. I think he has been for a long time. Really solid all-around fighter, big power, great wrestling, and just tough as nails usually. But that knockout might have changed things a little bit. Maybe his deterioration has started. His chin's there to be got at. But to be honest with you, Josh Emmett he threw that shot perfectly and absolutely clocked him clean in the chin. Before that loss, a beautiful knockout of Jason Knight. A lot of people were high on Knight in that fight. I thought that Lamas had the opportunity to really do the business there, and he did. Charles Oliveira's another good win. People are losing to like Chad Mendes and Max Holloway, legit guys, and giving them good fights as well. A little bit outclassed, especially in the Max Holloway fight. I think he was just slow to the punch. Max was too fast, too varied, and just beat him up. Mirsad Bektic, love the fact that he's moved to TriStar, moved away from American top teams, get more specialised one-on-one training, I believe, up in Canada. Moved into the dorms, is there all the time, getting better. Coming off that win over Godofredo Pepe, a beautiful body shot, put him down. And before that, he was handily winning that fight against Darren Elkins. Before Darren Elkins had one of the biggest comebacks of all time and got the stoppage there. Bektic, in my opinion, is still a legit prospect in that featherweight division. I still think he will go far in that division. How do I see this match going? Interesting. I'm interested to see what Ricardo Lamas wants to do in this fight, because he is coming off that brutal knockout. Is he going to wrestle more, maybe test the wrestling of Bektic? I can see Bektic wanting to do the same. I see this being a very close fight. I think that I can see both guys potentially getting a takedown. I think it's the one who's more dominant, can hold the positions longer, mix it in with their strikes. I think will be close, but I'm going to go Mirsad Bektic. I like the younger fighter here. I do think it's going to be close. So if I find I'm seeing some people on Lamas, which I don't think all in all that bad of a pick personally, or a bet if you're going to do that. But I feel like more in the side of Mirsad Bektic in this one. I'm going to go split decision though. I'm going to go very, very close 29-28 win for Mirsad Bektic. Women's strawweight division, Claudia Gadelha against Carla Esparza. Now, this was a fight that was being talked about for the longest time. They're supposed to fight in Invicta, I believe. There was talk of them going on the show together, but I don't think Gadelha went on. And there's just been a lot of jaw-jacking between the both of them. So, looking at this matchup, I have Claudia Gadelha very, very handily in this fight. And then the reason is I'm looking at it from Carla Esparza's perspective. How do I win this fight? She has to go to a wrestling. I don't think she takes down Gadelha. I don't think she's got the power, one, to take her down, and two, to keep her there. I think you need someone like Jessica Andrade, like she showed before, that she absolutely brutalized Claudia Gadelha and put a beating on her. And that's something that's going to be big for Gadelha. How does she respond after that fight, where she did take an absolute ass whooping and kept going for the full 15 minutes? Much respect to her for that, but it's a big, big loss and a brutal finishes, brutal fight for her as well. Esparza, I think her improvements in her hands have shown. Her wrestling's always been there, but I think Gadelha is going to be too strong. I don't think she's going to get taken down. I think that if she does, Gadelha could work off her back and look for submissions. On the feet, I just think Gadelha's got more pop in her punches. I think she's got more speed in her punches. I think she has more combinations. I think she throws leg kicks more. I think she's just got more variety than what Carla Esparza has. So I'm going to pick her to win 30-27 pretty convincingly against Carla Esparza there. Heavyweight division. Weird fight to have on the prelims, in my opinion. One of your next big stars, or potential next big stars of the heavyweight division, in Curtis Blaydes, as he takes on Alistair Overeem in a very interesting fight here. And I've actually got a bet on this fight as well. For the simple reason, I thought the line, when I heard the line, I thought that is going to shoot and that's going to rocket through the next couple of weeks. And this was a few weeks ago I made this bet. We'll start off with Alistair Overeem. He's coming off that fight with, oh shit, I forgot who it was. Knockout, wasn't it? Francis Ngannou. I don't know how I managed to forget that one. Yeah, lost to Francis Ngannou with one of the most brutal knockouts we've ever seen. Got a little bit tentative, got too close, and got a hit with a uppercut from hell. And yeah, glad to see that he's taking his time off. He's coming back here, and he's got another young gun with Curtis Blaydes here. I really like Curtis Blaydes. I have done for a long time. I like what he brings to the table. I like his skill set. I like his athleticism. I think he's a big athletic dude. Not like chiseled out of granite, but very strong. You can see that. The one thing I do like with Curtis Blaydes is his timing. I think the guy's got really good timing, especially initiating takedowns. You've seen that in the Mark Hunt fight where he took a couple of shots, realised, I don't want none of this shit here. I'm going to take you down. Timed it really, really well, and predominantly did that for the majority of the fight. I thought he showed some decent striking in that one, but obviously he doesn't want to strike with a guy like Mark Hunt. And that's the case here with Alistair Overeem. He doesn't want to do that here. What I like about Curtis Blaydes is he's always got his hips moving on the ground. Once he's got you there, he's looking to pass. He's looking to move into a more dominant position where he can lay that weight on you. And he's just a fighter I really, really like, being honest with you. I think he's a future, I think he can be a future UFC heavyweight champion without a shadow of a doubt. I think he's got all the accolades and all the skills to do that. He's got age on his side, and he's only improving from fight to fight, and he's making drastic changes in his fight game as well. Thing is with Alistair Overeem here, I do think he gets him down. It's whether he can hold Alistair Overeem down there, and he is very dangerous. Overeem, if you go back in, I know we're going back a long time, the Pride days, guy had legit submissions, submitted some really good guys. Now it's been a while since we've seen that. So I do see Curtis Blaydes taking him down and hitting him with some ground and pound. It's whether he can keep him there. I think Alistair Overeem can get back to his feet if he gets taken down. I think on the feet he might be very cautious with what he throws. He maybe hits and moves, quite a lot of moves out the road. Ultimately, I think that Curtis Blaydes does enough to win the fight. I put on a bet on Curtis Blaydes at -110. He opened it in the UK over here, and I thought, right, that's going to skyrocket. And it now went to -175, I saw. So I've got a good line. I think I've got a good read, but it's a big step up for Curtis Blaydes here. So I took the opportunity to bet him. I think he can win the fight, but it's a really tough fight. I'm going to go Curtis Blaydes to win via. I'm actually going to pick him via to win TKO in round number 3. If you can get him down, rain some heavy ground and pound. We've seen that Overeem's chin can be got at, especially coming off the Ngannou loss. I'm going to go a third round TKO for Curtis Blaydes there. And moving on to the main card, we have CM Punk against Mike Jackson. Now, look, I can see why the UFC are doing this. It's in Chicago. CM Punk has, if you're a wrestling fan or you've seen any of the WWE events from Chicago, the place is raucous. They were massively into it for CM Punk there. And the one thing I must admit, UFC 203, when he made his UFC debut, I loved his entrance. I thought it got the crowd popping. I thought he looked very, very good in his entrance, but once he got in the cage, he did not look good. He literally ran across the octagon, got taken down, got beat upon, and that was the end of that. Mike Jackson's exactly the same. We only got like 45 seconds of fight time against Mickey Gall, who both guys have lost to here. Golden Gloves boxer, has probably a lot more experience with CM Punk has with actual kind of real fighting. I've heard that he's had a few kind of fights, not sanctioned ones, out there as well. But what do you like? When I look at the line for Mike Jackson, I don't understand how you can make Mike Jackson a -400 favourite. Now I know CM Punk is new to the fight game, and I love the fact that he's probably been training at Rufus Sport and he's hopefully been improving. I'm guessing he has in the time that he's had off. But he's still, is he going to be at that level where he can win a UFC fight? Let's not get it twisted. Who do the UFC want to win this fight here? No doubt about it, it's CM Punk. And who could they get in? A guy who they think he can obviously beat. I think he can beat Mike Jackson. And I think he will beat Mike Jackson. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I just envision seeing CM Punk's hand getting raised. And I know I'm going to take some shit for that. And guys, I don't know, like trying to pick the fight. I don't know where I could find confidence in picking Mike Jackson. I've got no confidence in CM Punk. I just think that CM Punk's going to win the fight. I don't know how. I don't know why. I'm seeing people saying it's like the fix will be in, and I hate that. Like I get really pissed off when people talk about fights get fixed. Now I know it's happened in the past, and it'll probably happen in the future, but I don't think that's the case here. But for some reason, I just think CM Punk's going to win it. I think I'm talking too much about the fight that probably a lot of people really don't care about. But I'm going to pick CM Punk. I'm not going to pick a method. I just think he wins the fight in that one. I'm going to pick a method, maybe a submission, because he has worked with the Gracie brothers in the past. Hopefully, striking is better under do it ruthless than it was before. At least show some of it. Not that he wants to really stand and strike with Mike Jackson. He'll probably be the better striker. But maybe CM Punk is the better grappler here. Who knows? By the way, CM Punk comes from a Kempo karate background, so he might have something there. Who knows? I'm going to pick CM Punk now. I'll pick him via submission or decision. Heavyweight division. This is an interesting fight to me. Andrei Pitbull Arlovski against Tuivasa. This to me screams Junior Albini. In saying that, Tuivasa is a lot more aggressive than what Junior Albini is. The big thing with this fight, the first round to me is massively, massively important. If Tuivasa can't get him out of there, is he going to have the kind of will to get him out of there in 2 and 3? I'm not overly sure. Now, what I've seen from Tuivasa, loved it. I think he's a character. I think we need more guys like this. Young guys, only in his mid-20s, big tree trunk legs, can kick the legs clean off you. But Rashad Coulter, Cyril Lasker, 2 of your lowest level heavyweights. Now he's getting a step up to Andrei Arlovski. Now, Arlovski is not in the prime of his career. He's probably at the end of his career, but he's fighting smart. Loved what he did against Junior Albini, even though I picked Albini, which was a bad pick when you look back at it. Went to American top teams, definitely shored up his game a little bit, and looks a hell of a lot more patient than he did in the previous fights, where he'd come out, he'd leave his chin in the air, and he'd get hit with a big shot and go down. Now, that could happen here. Absolutely, it could happen here. He could get too aggressive. Tuivasa comes in there and absolutely puts it on him. But when I look at it, I just think that the first round is so huge for me. If Arlovski survives it and looks good doing so, I think he could beat this guy. If Tuivasa comes out, hits him. Tuivasa really only needs one big shot. Saying that, Arlovski might just only need one big shot. They're big guys. Tuivasa is the bigger guy. He's going to be like 265, where Arlovski will probably be around 240 to 245. The height advantage obviously goes to Arlovski, not by an awful lot, but he's got so much more experience than Tuivasa. I just think he needs to survive the first round. I really do. If he doesn't get hit with a big shot, I can see him frustrating Tuivasa in rounds 2 and 3 and potentially causing an upset here. I'm seeing a lot of people very, very confident in Tuivasa, and maybe that's just the hype of him and what he's shown in his first couple of UFC fights. This is a step up. If he can't get him out early, I think he struggles late. So with that, I'm going to pick Andrei Arlovski to get the upset victory and win via decision there. Moving on, we have in the women's featherweight division. Didn't know that was still around, honestly. But Holly Holm faces off against the debuting Megan Anderson, the former Invicta 145 champion, I believe. She had visa problems. I remember that's the reason why she hasn't fought in a long time. I think her visa actually run out, and she had to get all that sorted. And she's got a very tough matchup here in Holly Holm. When you look at Megan Anderson's fights and the opposition, I mean, Peggy Morgan, Charmaine Tweet, not good, and she gets hit in those fights. Like Charmaine Tweet hit her with some strikes and bloodied her up a little bit. Cindy Dandois beat this girl, and it's just like, and that was like not even 3 years ago. So what's the people she's against? I don't see the massive improvements to justify her beating a girl like Holly Holm. Now she's big. If she can make it dirty, get in close and throw some strikes, I think she could possibly hurt Holly Holm. I think Holly Holm's just going to have the optimal game plan here. Hit, grunt, move, and use the long kicks to stay on the outside and just frustrate the life out of Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson's going to be coming forward. She's going to get countered. And before she knows it, Holly Holm is moved around the cage and she's ready to go once again. One of my most confident picks of the card, Holly Holm. I've put a bet on at minus 160. The line, I don't know, I think it shot to minus 270, I believe. I could be wrong on the last I've seen of it. I just thought when I saw that line, I had to jump on it. I just think she's too good. She's going to she'll have a great game plan. She'll fight long. She'll not get into exchanges where she could get hurt by Megan Anderson, which is a possibility, but I just don't think it will. I like Holly Holm pretty convincingly in that fight, 30-27 across the cards there. And the co-main event of the night, this is a great fight. Rafael dos Anjos against Colby Covington for the interim UFC Welterweight Championship. I don't know why they have a welterweight interim title. It makes no sense to me, but hey, it's what it is. Colby Covington. I cannot stand this guy on social media. I hate the facade that he throws out. Now, I've met Colby before. Really cool guy, but the facade has just put me off altogether. But the guy is a really good fighter, and saying that. Now, me just talking shit on the way he is, the nerd bash, and paying the hookers to come in the hot tub with him. I mean, that's all corny as hell. But he's got people wanting to watch his fights, and people want to see him lose. But the guy is a legit, really good fighter. I love his wrestling game. Striking has forever been making improvements. Still don't think it's great. I still think he lunges in with a lot of shots. I still think he gets a little bit too aggressive on the feet, especially in the Maia fight. Now, that's Damian Maia. Maia's not good on the feet. But Maia was piecing him up in the first round. He busted him open. But then after that first round, he really just went on to dominate Damian Maia. Maia had nothing in the way of takedowns. We've seen now how you beat Damian Maia with Usman and Covington and Woodley and so on. And he really just put a beating on Damian Maia in Brazil. Great grappling, great wrestling. He never showed that in the Maia fight, but if you go back and watch all his previous fights, he shows that he's got great control, great hips as well, actually. It's another thing that I noticed, that he always gets his hips in the right position to move into an inferior, like a more superior position, and just always, I always watch, when I watch wrestlers, I always watch the legs to see. I love grappling exchanges on the floor and see where they maneuver and position their feet. And Colby Covington is really good at putting it in like little spots where the other fighters can't get it or they can't get back up. And it's just something that I noticed when I was watching some of his fights. The one thing I have a little bit of a worry here is maybe the 5 rounds. Now, I think the guy's a good athlete. I think he can go 5 hard rounds, but we've never seen him do it before. Where we have seen that with Rafael dos Anjos, he's went hard in his last fight. Tony Ferguson was a brutal fight, a lot of striking exchanges there. I am a big fan of watching dos Anjos fights. I think he has a really fun game, brutal combinations. I think his leg kicks are wicked. We've seen that in the Robbie Lawler fight. I think in the first 2 minutes he landed like 10 leg kicks, and Robbie just did not recover from them leg kicks. Even in the second, I think it was the second or third round, he had like a combination where he was just absolutely unloading with body shots when Robbie was against the cage. And Robbie Lawler, being Robbie Lawler, was just standing there pretty much smiling them off. I thought that was a superior performance over Robbie Lawler. Neil Magny destroyed him with ease. Tariq Saffiedine, I think he was just settling into the 170 division there, and looked okay. Saffiedine took him down, which is something that Covington, I think his only game plan for this fight is he needs to shoot often on dos Anjos. If you go back and watch the Khabib fight, Khabib absolutely ragdolled this guy. So one of my big concerns for dos Anjos is just the size of Covington, because Covington's got a big height advantage. He is going to be the bigger guy here. Whether he's the stronger guy, I have no idea. I think it'll be pretty close. When I look at it, I think the striking, the more technical, crisp striking and in the clinch and so on up against the cage, dos Anjos absolutely whoops Covington there. I think wrestling, I think that it's pretty obvious which way we're going to go there. But jiu-jitsu is clearly in the way of Rafael dos Anjos there. So if Covington does take him down, he has to be very careful. Not that we've seen dos Anjos finish all that many guys from his back, but he's a black belt, and he's someone who's very, very dangerous. Anywhere the fight goes, he can dismantle you like he did in Anthony Pettit's fight. He can take you down. Don't think he takes Covington down. He tried to take Khabib down, and that was a little bit of a bad thing to do. I just see Colby Covington getting hit with a lot of shots. I think he's going to be swinging at air, overcommitting on his shots, and I think he's going to be eating a lot of leg kicks. Now, that's somewhere that Colby Covington might actually look at exposing him, is try and catch that leg, take him down. I just don't see him taking him down and keeping him there like Khabib did. I really don't see it. So for that, if it stays on the feet, I have Rafael dos Anjos all day long to win that fight. So yeah, I'm going to go Rafael dos Anjos with a third or fourth round TKO victory there. I think he gets a stoppage victory. And one of the bets I am going to probably look at is Rafael dos Anjos. I think someone said he was minus 105 over here in the UK, and that's a little bit crazy. I think he might be the underdog very, very soon, which will interest me. Rafael dos Anjos in the distance is a bet I might look at as well. But yeah, I like Colby Covington. I like his fighting style. I just don't like the way he portrays himself a little bit. But he is a really good fighter and has every opportunity, I think, to win the fight. I just think it's a little bit too early for him. I think that dos Anjos will use that experience and beat him there. But I know a lot of people are very heavy in Colby. I've got a funny feeling a lot of my subscribers and people that watch will be pretty high in Covington this week, and every right to feel confident in him. So, but yeah, I'm going to go dos Anjos for me there. And the main event of the night, we have Robert Whittaker rematching against Yoel Romero for the undisputed UFC Middleweight Championship of the world. These guys fought UFC 213 back in Vegas last year. Very interesting, very intriguing fight. Watched that very early Sunday morning. It's now very early Monday morning. Watched that there, and it's just such a good fight. When I watched Robert Whittaker, the adjustments that he made, he hurt his knee. He kind of made the adjustments to where he could time when Romero was taking breaks, and then he was absolutely capitalizing on that with big strikes, but was forever being very, very safe with the athletic kind of capabilities of what Romero brought to the table and his takedowns and so on. Yoel Romero came out and said he let him off the hook a little bit, which was surprising to me. He says he's not going to make that mistake here, so that means he's going to be more aggressive, which I think that if Rob Whittaker, I think he's a really good counter striker. He's a big puncher himself. I loved his kind of low stance in the first fight as well. I know he got his knee hurt very, very early on that fight. I think it was early second round. So to fight for an extra 20 minutes with a botched knee against a guy like Yoel Romero, that takes some doing. If you ask me, that's a big feather in your cap. And now if he's to beat Yoel the second time, man, that's two heavy wins in that division against that guy. Yoel Romero, in my opinion, I think he's the most dangerous fighter in the UFC. Personally, I think the guy's an absolute machine, and you cannot rest on your laurels for 1 second against this guy. And this dude won me so much money in DraftKings by knocking out Luke Rockhold, where he literally just floated around, and then eventually what he was doing, he was using spurts where he was fighting and landing a lot of heavy strikes. And then a minute would pass by, he's really not done anything, but then he'd come out with a massive shot and hurt Luke Rockhold, and then eventually stopping him. I love watching both guys fight here. I think Romero's just an absolute freak, and he's someone, like I said before, you cannot take any time off against, because if you do, you could be waking up looking at the lights. Obviously, I think he's going to want to try and use this wrestling game here, so I think that Whittaker is the better striker, more volume, more fluidity with his striking. But Romero is dangerous anywhere the fight goes. I do think he will look for takedowns, but I think Whittaker will stop them. He's shown to me in the past that he can stop elite guys taking him down. Jacare tried it, batted him off. As soon as he did that, Jacare broke, and then he went and took out Jacare Souza. Another thing here, Robert Whittaker, he had a really bad staph infection, I believe it was, where he was in hospital for a while, had to get things sorted. So that's a big thing there. Has he fully recovered from that? I'm guessing he probably has, if he's already got a fight. This has been lined up for a while, but that's another aspect to look at there. Might affect him in the later rounds. I don't know. I picked Robert Whittaker the last fight. I thought it was going to be close. I think this one's going to be a little more decisive. I think Robert Whittaker is going to win the fight, and I think he's going to stop Yoel Romero. I think Romero's going to get too aggressive, and he's going to eat a big shot from Robert Whittaker and get put away. If not, I see Whittaker again taking a decision win. But honestly, would not surprise me one bit if Yoel Romero comes flying out of nowhere with a flying knee or something, and he hurts Robert Whittaker and finishes him. I'm just more confident in the guy that I thought could win the first time around, and I do believe he can win the second time around. So my pick is going to be Robert Whittaker with a fourth round TKO victory there. So that is my picks for UFC 225, guys. So what do you think of my picks? Do you think I'm a little off in some of them? What do you think? Let me know. Let me know your picks. I always like one of the best things all through fight week is coming back, looking at your picks, your suggestions, how you think you see the fight going. It's pretty badass to come back and look at them. So get them in the comment box below. 80 subscribers away from 2,000. Hit me up. Get me up to 2,000, and that's another goal I never thought I would ever see in YouTube. So appreciate each and every one of you. I think we're going to be back for a Cowboy against Leon Edwards. That's going to be 2 weeks, and we've got a week off. I'm going to start watching tape from the middle of next week and see what I see. But until then, enjoy the fights this Saturday night, and good luck if you're betting. Good luck if you're playing DraftKings, but enjoy the fights.